is one of the hottest shows on television. FX is The People versus O.J. Simpson, American Crime Story. It's been every single Tuesday, pretty much since the Super Bowl, up until the Tuesday after the national championship game when the season finale airs. And the man who plays Johnny Cochran in that show, Courtney B. Vance, here on The Rich Eisen Show. Good to see
Thank
you,
you, Richard.
sir. How are you?
Thank you so much.
We just exchanged pleasantries about how you're from Detroit.
And you're from Staten Island.
Well, I said I went to University of Michigan, and then I said I'm from New York City, born and raised, and then I told you I'm from Staten Island. Then go ahead and say what you said.
That ain't Manhattan. That's Staten Island. You know, I lived in Brooklyn.
Okay.
I lived in Brooklyn but I'm from Detroit, so saying I lived in Brooklyn is a big deal.
But also people say Brooklyn is part of New York City, like Staten Island is.
No, you can't say I grew up in Manhattan and then say, well, I grew up in Staten Island. It's a different thing. Am I right? It's a different thing.
You're correct, sir.
I'll let you segue.
No. Here's the way I will segue, is that, the glove, I guess, does not fit in that regard.
It does not.
Okay. You are awesome as Johnny Cochran.
Thank you.
Courtney, you are, and he has obviously since passed away for some time. How do you prepare for this role to find out who he is when you know that people are going to be watching this thinking everything that's out of your mouth has happened, it's the truth, and this is the way it went down? How do you prepare for a role?
It's a little scary, isn't it? I said to myself, I don't want to imitate him. He's him, and I took that onus off my back, off my shoulders. He's him, I'm me, and I don't want to watch any footage. I don't want to meet anybody. I'm just going to read. I'm going to read everything I can. And if I can find one or two little nuggets or kernels, because I know this is television, and
sure,
we fly. I know we're going to be doing 2 and 3 episodes at the same time with 4 and 5 cameras and the camera. But I didn't know the cameras are going to be swirling like that in front of me. So I said, if I can just read and find 1 or 2 kernels, when I get in the middle of something, I want to make sure I know where I am. I can say a phrase or something and line myself back up. And that was. I'm so glad I did it that way, and I didn't have in my head, am I in the right place? Am I saying things right? I concern myself with that.
You didn't watch any tapes of the trial to get his inflection, to get his none.
Because I said to myself, I'm not going to try to be him. Mm-hmm. I'm going to, if I can suggest, his essence or his aura, then people will then, and the scripts are tight. And I knew that Ryan Murphy, when we sat down and met, I knew he was trying to get underneath the material. So I said, if I can just get out of the way and let people enter into these wonderful, wonderful scripts, they will enter in the story, and they will, the fact that I don't look like him or sound exactly like him won't matter as much.
Well, the scene where you meet O.J. for the first time as his attorney, where you go in and you meet O.J. Cuba Gooding Jr. In lockup, and then tell him the personal story of how Johnny Cochran told him that he was down and out, and there was one game where he played for the Niners. It wasn't a Bill. He played for the Niners, and what he did. That soliloquy from you was so moving and was so incredible.
And that was, there's certain scenes that that's, as I said, we work really fast. And there's certain scenes that that when they're coming, and I knew that I'm driving this particular scene, it's all me, so I got to be ready for it. Because I know that Anthony Hemingway, who was our director, and he came to me 3 days before, and said, Courtney, it's coming. I said, I know, and I'm working
this soliloquy in particular.
Right. He said it's coming, and I said I want to be on it so that I won't be in my head about it, and I won't have to worry about the words and all, and it was the scene was about just how the scene before O.J. was in the courtroom and he was looking all sad, and I'm like, man, you can't look sad. People are watching you. Do you know who you are? You're O.J. He said, I don't feel like, he got all, and I said, well, okay, let me tell you about who you are to me, and telling you who you are to me, I got all emotional about it because Courtney was emotional about O.J. I was a big fan, and that's one of the reasons I couldn't watch the trial, because my guy looked like he was going down. I couldn't take it. I mean, Reggie McKenzie and all those line members when O.J. used to give his linemen, gifts and presents.
The
for
electric company.
Exactly.
In Western New York.
I couldn't do it. I could not watch that happen. And I was there for the Bronco chase, and I was there for the verdict. In between, I was in and out.
Where were you for the Bronco chase?
The Bronco chase, I was doing Mario Van Peebles' Panther up in Sacramento, and we were at a hotel watching the finals of the NBA.
Yeah, it was the Knicks.
Was it the Knicks?
Yeah, it was the Knicks against the Rockets.
Oh man, that was a great.
And it was, the Keem, the Dream, and Ewing's finally getting to his spot. I was, as you know, from Staten Island, which is New York City. I'm a diehard Knick fan growing up.
Yes. They don't have a basketball team.
No, it's part of New York City, Courtney.
They don't have a basketball team.
So, and it was in the middle of the finals.
Was that when Michael had stepped out that year?
Michael had stepped out.
Got it.
Exactly. That's why the Knicks got a shot. And so.
Did they blow it?
Yes, they did.
Anyway,
yes,
let's segue. Segue quickly. Quickly, segue.
And did they blow it?
Yeah.
Anyway, was it? No, I'm not going to touch on the game.
Okay.
Let's not get specific with it.
It's all right.
Let's not get specific.
No, but I do remember that it was a big thing that they put the game in a smaller box while the screen pretty much filled up.
But
with
they
this
started out with
chase.
OJ in a small box.
Yeah,
didn't they?
And then it switched.
And then it flipped.
Oh, it did.
And initially we were just like, no, what's going on here? Stop. What is this little? And I saw it was OJ. I was like, what? And the Bronco. I mean, I couldn't take it. I literally it depressed me.
And now here you are. I mean, again, I've been such a fan of yours from Hamburger Hill, Hunt for Red October, and just for films alone, you're an accomplished stage actor. But now here you are, and maybe the role of
my life.
I mean, to not get too overdramatic about it, it's Johnny Cochran, and who you are. That you're playing him in this seminal moment of race and pop culture.
It's amazing.
In American history.
It's amazing, and what a wonderful, what an amazing time to. And you actually wish Johnny was still here, in this time, these struggles that we're having, to be able to galvanize people in conversation and dialogue about, where we are. I was on the internet yesterday, just, looking for, at topics to talk about and stuff, and I stumbled on the Tulsa race riots in 1921, where the city, the Black Wall Street, as it was called. And I had barely knew about it about 10 years ago when I first stumbled on it. But here's Black Wall Street, and it was absolutely, somebody, a young boy, a black boy and white girl were on the elevator, and it's debatable whether or not they knew each other, but she called rape, and they basically firebombed the town. And when you see that, and you understand that there was no recourse the black town had about this situation, and then you turn your attention back to Johnny Cochran and this trial, and the African Americans weren't cheering for O.J. Simpson because O.J. had stated, "I'm not black. I'm O.J." And we celebrated that about O.J. because he transcended race. He had crossed over, and we celebrated that. But he wasn't black. But Johnny was in the community, and so we were celebrating what Johnny had done, and which doesn't take away from the fact that justice was not done, because there were two people who were dead. So it was one of those moments where somebody needed to talk about it. We needed, after it happened, after seeing it for a year and a half on television every day, all of a sudden, poof, it was gone, and we had to do something with our emotions, and we couldn't do anything with
And that's the thing about this show is it's just, I'm watching it with my wife, and the emotions come back.
I know.
It's still so raw, Courtney.
I know.
It really is remarkable. And it's, again, a testament to the acting and the script, and it really, I cannot say enough about it. And it's sometimes like a soap opera too. It's pulpy. I mean,
it's got everything in it.
Well, the scene where David Schwimmer playing Robert Kardashian, and he's talking to his kids about fame and about the trappings of fame. I mean, that was great too. It really is terrific. Let's take a break. We're here in 60 seconds. I've got a phone call, fan of the show calling and wanting to chat with you, so I'll do that. And we'll talk some sports.
Yes.
We're talking sports outside of the fact that my Knicks lost that championship game on the.
Let's not talk about New York.
Okay. We're back with more here on the Rich Eisen Show. Courtney B. Vance here in a 60 ticks the clock. Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show. Courtney B. Vance here in studio, the man who plays Johnny Cochran, and the American crime story, The People versus O.J. Simpson on FX, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. So you are from Detroit, Michigan.
I am.
Okay. And here I thought that might mean, okay, you're a Tiger, you're a Lion. You're a Piston. Not. That is not the case. What happened?
I couldn't wait for them. They were, Bob Lanier and all the crew. I forget my man.
But
Dave Bing.
Dave Bing, the future mayor of Detroit by way of Syracuse.
The baseball,
Fidrich.
Fidrich.
I like it.
I
couldn't wait for him.
They did it in '68, and then
with Denny McLain, right?
And then there was nothing.
Okay.
It was dead. I just couldn't. Even Alex Karras, I just couldn't wait.
You had to go elsewhere.
I had to.
And so where did you go?
Showtime for when Irvin was there.
Okay.
And I'm a Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Those are my guys.
So you're a Bronco and a Patriot fan?
Yeah. When they play each other, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. What happened in the AFC Championship game for you this year?
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
Rich, I didn't know what to do.
So you did not know what to do. So you were.
I was kind of frozen.
You were frozen watching that game.
Yeah.
So what do you like about those guys? What attracted you?
I like that their work ethic and that nothing stops them, even when they have a bad day or an off day. Mm-hmm. They just say, "I had an off day," and hey, I'll be back tomorrow. And they redouble their efforts, and they come. They're coming back.
Right.
And when they're down, and it's 2 minutes to go, you cannot count them out. I like that. I like that, and I think these days it's rare to find that.
Did you go to the You went to the Super Bowl this year, right?
Super Bowl this year.
So you went to see the Peyton Manning. Did you think he was going to retire? Did you think that was his farewell?
I think it was time. It was time, and he did the right thing, I think. I mean, he had that monster year 2 years ago.
Yep, 2 and 3 and 4 years ago.
You
This
can't
year
top
was.
that.
Yeah, this year was just.
Can't top that. I mean, it was time, and he went out and thank God he was with a team. It's a team sport, right? So, if you're down or not, up to par, we got you.
Yeah.
And if we're down, so that was beautiful to see, and that he knows what was going on, and he respected that and gave homage to his defense, that they carried us.
Did you get to see Josh Norman before he left here?
Yeah, I saw him just for a little bit.
Did you tell him that you were there as a Bronco fan at all?
I didn't. I didn't remember to do that.
Okay, well that's good.
I didn't remember to do that, but I saw that whole thing go down with him and Beckham Jr. Mm-hmm. And I was appalled. That was that kind of behavior in the NFL between the two of those guys. I don't think there's no place for it, and I'm glad that the commissioner and the leagues are trying to rectify what went down.
Yeah, I mean they suspended Odell for a game, and the Giants.
That's not enough. There's children watching, and football is our sport, and it's got to be respected.
So if you're commissioner of the NFL, Courtney B. Vance,
he would have been. Both of them would have been fined for the other game that he was fined for, but this year he would have been out 2 games.
Suspended him for 2 games this year.
To send a message.
Well, then the union would have sent their version of Johnny Cochran in to fight this thing.
Okay.
You know that, right?
I understand that.
Okay.
I understand, but the message would have been the message would have been clear. Mm-hmm. That we can't have that as a league. We can't have that kind of behavior.
Courtney B. Vance, again in The People versus O.J. Simpson, joining me here on the show. So your basketball team would be who?
Not Denver Nuggets.
Okay. So who it is? Is it a Celtic? Who do you got?
No,
Who's your basketball
I can't
team?
do the Celtics.
Okay.
The Spurs.
So the Spurs.
Yeah. And again, same thing. No matter who's on the team, Popovich plugs in whomever, and they win. It's about the system.
You do realize that the people call the Patriots like the Spurs of the NFL and the Spurs the Patriots of the NBA. It's essentially the same
thing, and that's
right.
I like that. There are no stars, and that when you go to that team that you're going to be a part of the system, But when you plug into it, you know that you're going to win, and you play your role.
So what do you think happens when Steph Curry and this team matches up as we expect them to in the Western Conference
It's going to be.
Finals?
Everyone knows that this year, everyone else everyone's waiting for the Western Conference Final.
Yeah, but we should just fast forward the tape.
I think so, because everything else is sifting sand, and it's going to be a war, and it's going to be a chess match between Popovich and Steve Kerr, who I know Steve Kerr trained under him.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's great. And Kerr was part of the Bulls team that the Warriors are trying to chase down right now.
It's a beautiful story. That's why it has to happen.
It's full circle. Full circle. I've got a phone call for Courtney B. Vance. Scott in Austin, Texas. You are on the Rich Eisen Show with Courtney.
Hey, Courtney.
Hey, Scott.
This is going back quite a ways in your career, back to probably around 1990 when you were in The Hunt for Red October, but that's one of my all-time favorite movies. And I thought you were incredibly convincing as the sonar man on the USS Dallas.
Paganini.
My question is, what do you do to prepare for a role like that? What specifically did you do? And specifically, beforehand, could you have told anybody the difference between Pavarotti and Paganini?
Not at all. And to this day, no.
Good question, Scott.
I was in a play at the Public, and a big struggle between myself and Joe Papp to get me out of it. And so by the time I was released from the play, they had done all of the work going on to the sub, and doing going under, having the sub go down and doing all of that. So by the time I got there, they were just about ready to shoot. So I wasn't able to do anything. I read the book.
Sure.
So a Tom Clancy book, but.
And I'd imagine you didn't shoot any scenes with Sean Connery, right? Because you're in separate.
I think
subs. Did you ever come across?
No, remember he came on.
He did come on. At the end, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think either we went on his ship or he came on ours.
Yeah.
But yeah, we came but there's a funny story with Sean. Sean had a throat issue at the time, and so the atmospheric smoke, they used all the smoke to give the atmosphere. And so when he told the director, no smoke. He said, no smoke. I want no smoke in here. And we only had him for like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Because whatever his visa thing was. So he said, while I'm on the set, use me and then get me out of here, and there better not be any smoke.
So now when we see the movie and it's a smokeless environment, that's what happened?
It was smokeless with him. They must have put smoke in post.
That's what yeah.
They posted the smoke
They posted the smoke.
Right.
Fantastic.
But he would brook no smoke on his set.
Hey, Courtney, congrats again on all the kudos and platitudes coming your way. You deserve it. You deserve it. You are awesome at what you do, and this show is it's incredible. It really is out of body to see something that this country lived and went through 20 years ago being brought so vividly back by you and the excellent cast. So, again, thanks for coming on. You bet.
What a great show.
At Courtney B. Vance on Twitter as well. Check out the season finale of O.J. Simpson, The People vs. O.J. Simpson, American Crime Story on FX. Again, that's April 5th, the Tuesday after the national championship game in college basketball.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.